You mentioned that you've rubbed shoulders with a variety of celebrities.
Mhm.
Do you have any Diddy stories?
No, not at all. No.
Now, you honestly mean you have none, or you have some, you just don't want to share them?
No, I honestly don't. I feel like, situations like that, I'm not even gonna allow myself to be in a situation like that.
Now, he is facing a lawsuit currently,
Hmm.
and in that lawsuit is the mention of a drug called pink cocaine.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with that drug?
Not at all.
Was the lawsuit the first time you ever heard about that?
Yeah.
And do you know what it is at this point yet, since the lawsuit's been out?
No, I haven't looked into it. And like, I don't know. When it comes to that type of stuff, I don't know the full details or circumstances behind everything that's going on, but from what I'm hearing and X, Y, and Z, like I said, I don't do drugs. I barely drink. They be trying to tell me to take shots. I probably take a shot once a year or something like that. And I could go longer than that. I just like being sober, so I'm hoping that everybody just come up out that situation, but I don't know.
Now, have you ever experimented with drugs?
I wouldn't say I necessarily experimented, but I say like around 18 or 19, I used to pop perks here and there. Um, I remember the first time I had ever popped a perk, I had a headache, a real bad headache. And my mom was like, "Take this," and I'm like, "What is this?" So she gave it to me, and it felt good. It felt good. So then I ended up dating somebody, and at the time I didn't know that he was shooting up heroin. So I actually ended up finding that out because my son, he was like messing with his shoe, and I kept hearing something rattle. I'm like, "What you don't put in his shoe?" So now I look in his shoe, and he had a spoon and needles, and I'm like, "Damn!" Like we got into it real bad. Like you could have put my son like in harm's way. Like anything could have happened. You never told me that. Then I started like he got tracks and all this different stuff. But what he was trying to do the whole time, I'm like 19 probably. And I think he was like 31. So he trying to give me perk 30s and stuff. This is before all the fake ones came out. He giving me perk 30s and stuff, and I'm not realizing it. But once I feel like I could possibly be dependent on something, I'm gonna cut it out. I'm too strong mentally for me to be addicted to something. So I just quit. I'm like, dang, like he probably was trying to get me addicted to drugs like how he was. And I just completely cut that connection off. Only other thing I ever tried, I tried an E-pill before. It was cool. I done tried Adderall, but that was I don't think Adderall is necessarily a drug, but um other than that, regular stuff, weed.
And for you, why have you stopped all of those things, except maybe a social drink or a social shot, as you described?
Um, because like I just realized I have a natural high about myself, and I just genuinely like experiencing things sober. So I used to drink and stuff like that, and then it took me a long time to even be able to smoke without getting extremely paranoid. And then I had to find out the different types of weeds, why I'm feeling like this because I'm smoking X, Y, and Z, and it's just really not my thing. Like here and there, I might hit a blunt or something, but in general, I'm not a smoker. And I used to feel like, oh yeah, I gotta get these jitters out, like I'm finna drink before I perform. And I had got really fucked up on one of my performances. I remember getting up on stage and my head just started spinning. The night was really a blur. And then after that happened to me, I was like, yeah, I'm performing sober from now on. And after that, I said, I'm just about to go out there. I think everybody that performed kind of get jitters. And when I performed sober, I experienced the crowd in an entirely different way. I remember all the faces. I was able to rap without getting out of breath. I was able to go home, like get a good night's rest, and I just feel like it's better. Now, it's not to say I wouldn't ever do anything in the future, but in general, I'm just cool on it.
And were you addicted to any of these substances at one point in your life at all?
No.
And when you stopped any of these substances, it was like the flip of a light switch. It wasn't a progression into stopping any of them.
No, it was definitely a flip of a light switch, but I do remember, like, I was taking perks to the point where, like, when I did stop, my stomach was in knots. You know what I'm saying? I had the cold sweats. You know, I was having problems going to the bathroom, and I was just like, yeah, that's not for me. And now it's just like seeing people just on drugs now, and so many different fake drugs, like people dying from that. It's just not worth the risk to me.